To start off this video, I recognize that cases were always viable investments, and many people specialized in them since the arms deal update, but this is about the current market. A market where people look at you strange if you don't own any cases at all. You're expected to own cases at some point. What's made cases so popular and as profitable as they can be? The thing about the CS market is that any item could technically be an investment long term. Outside of items purchased within the CSGO store and drops from playing the game, like the map collection skins and the graffitis, some map collections may be around forever, but Valve isn't afraid to discontinue collections like the Office collection and other old maps that aren't in the competitive pool today. So considering there's thousands of items in CS that can appreciate over time, it's often hard to find something that will give you the best return on your investment. Often, there's a general checklist that you can go through that will help you make a decision when choosing your next investment. Quantity. How many items are on the market and sitting in storage units, and can more be created or consumed? Community interest. Do other players have interest in the items, and if they do, is it just hype, or will it actually work in terms of long-term interest? Reintroduction. Can the items potentially be reintroduced into an active drop scenario, or have Valve proven that once the items aren't widely available, it will stay like that? You have to consider the hype aspect too. This item could have long-term value, but another collection could be introduced that the community likes more, and people aren't interested in the older collection after that one comes out. So let's go through and understand why cases basically check all of these boxes, starting with the quantity of the cases. The current life cycle of a CSGO case looks something like this. Case gets introduced with a ton of hype, and cases are over $1 for months. After about a year and a half on average, I'd say the case is worth substantially less. The case will then find its way into the non-prime drop pool, where it will drop for people who haven't bought the game, and just playing it for free, which means the quantity dropped is lower, and for cases in high demand, the price can start going up at this point. After a stint in the non-prime drop pool, which is recent to CS, but I would say it's about as long as a regular drop pool where it'd take about a year to a year and a half, it will become a rare drop. This is where the fun part begins, because the chance to get a rare drop case is extremely low. And at this point, the case has hit its investment peak. If people are interested in the case but didn't buy during the non-prime drop period, this is the time to buy. When a case gets introduced as a rare drop, that is when the most cases sell. I expect the clutch case to skyrocket when it reaches this point. I think the clutch case is the most interesting case right now, and it will probably be the next best case investment. In this category, major capsules take an edge because they are completely discontinued past the major and get consumed just like a case. The case makes more sense than the skins inside of it unless a blue skin is very popular like the USP blueprint in the Hydra case, because skins can be traded up for and are non-consumable. One of the most important ones and sometimes the hardest to read is community interest. With cases, choosing one that doesn't sell well long term would be an anomaly and would likely be avoided when going through some kind of checklist. The Shadow case, Gamma case, Vanguard case, Esports 2013 Winter case, and Weapon case 3 all had bad return for cases. The similarities between these cases are undesirable skins on undesirable weapons, and with the Shadow case, undesirable knives. When investing in a case, invest in a case where people go crazy for the skins, like the new Fracture case, or where the special items are good, like the clutch case that has gloves. If you follow what the community likes, the case will appreciate very well after it enters the rare drop. Anomalies exist, like the Fracture case containing the Shattered Web knives, or Gen 2 gloves being in the clutch case. But you can't tell me the glove case won't be mass opened anymore because another case has gloves. Or the Spectrum 2 case won't be opened because the Legend of Anubis skin may look better than the Empress. The great thing about cases is they all have different skin designs, and some people may prefer the skins in the older case over the new case that everyone is currently hyped about. Because of this, if you avoid investing in anomalies that have skins people aren't overly invested in, the community interest will be maintained long term. The third consideration is the possibility that something could be reintroduced in the future, which would cause prices to crash. This has happened before with some of the older community capsules that got brought back into the store, and it tanked the price of the stickers inside. One of the biggest ones was the Phoenix foil, which made it to over $40 after being taken off the market, and after being reintroduced, it crashed down to $7 and has stayed there ever since. This possibility also needs to be considered with Operation Weapons. The original operations were reused for many years, and I would expect the new operations to be reused for the next operation also. With cases, this has never been done before, and I wouldn't expect it to ever happen. The only time there's been a disruption is when the non-prime drop tool was first introduced. I don't see Valve would change anything else in terms of the case drops. The only concern was during the shortage of cases when China was going insane and the game went free to play, but that is mostly leveled out right now. It's easy to buy 1,000 cases at a few cents a piece and make 2 times profit within a year, and much more down the road. That is why they are so popular. Choosing the right case is much easier than choosing the right sticker, which is why I don't plan on making videos specific to case investments. I think covering anomalies like the Shadowweb case is where things get interesting, but for regular cases, you could have your dog pick one, and whatever you choose will give decent return on investment. The only thing right now that I could see that would slow down cases is the death of the game, and Valorant couldn't do it. So I don't think there's too much to worry about there. But you could also consider a change to the drop system that could also mess up the case prices, but there's not really a case shortage currently, so I don't see that being a problem. Case investments are too profitable short-term and long-term to not become one of the most popular choices in CSGO.